Hey, what's up guys, it's us again, talking about Star Wars The Force Awakens, but this time in full detail. Spoilers, all spoilers, so if you're watching this video, for the love of God, if you have not seen Star Wars, don't watch this video until after you've seen it, and hopefully most Star Wars fans have seen the movie. Just, what are you doing if you haven't seen the movie?
By now.
Yeah, by now, I mean...
Talking about this.
Please have seen it by now, please. Thing is, though, what do we start with? Because there's like so much to talk about when it comes to spoiler territory. And I also want to talk about our overall opinion on a lot of the backlash for this film. Like, I mean, there's not a lot. Most people like what they see. They like what they're seeing, especially Star Wars fans and new fans are saying that they enjoy the movie. But, I mean, there's just so many people complaining about, I don't even want to say it because it's just like, it's so ridiculous, but that there are too many parallels in this film to Star Wars A New Hope. And I guess we could just cover that first, just what we think about that. I think it's bull. I'm just throwing that out there. Like, there are similarities. Of course, definitely are. I will not deny that there are similarities in this film. But people, the difference with me and other people is other people are actually simply not enjoying Force Awakens because of that. And that to me is like, I'm sorry, you're not a Star Wars fan. It's like you're not a Star Wars fan if you can't sit down for those 2 hours and enjoy every single thing happening on this screen. Like, I mean, you know, you don't have to like everything, but you know what I mean. It's not as bad as people are making it out to be. And if anybody out there is telling other people that haven't seen it that, oh, it's too similar, don't worry about seeing it, like, just see it for yourself. Don't, like, take anybody's opinion that's talking about that, because it's not as intense as, I mean, you know, it's all subjective and opinionated, but for real, it's not so similar. Like, they're calling it like scene for scene, and that is not true. I mean, there are similarities, but when they're there, they're flipped around in the movie. They're at different, you know, moments, and it's just not, it's not the same.
For the record, you've seen it 3 times.
3 times now.
He's seen it 3 times. I've seen it twice. I plan on a 3rd time at some point with another friend of mine, but I don't know how likely that is to happen, but I want to see it again regardless. This movie was fantastic. You already got my views on how fantastic it was, but like...
And that's what happens. It pulls you in. It makes you want to see it multiple times, because it's Star Wars. It pulls you in, like, just... But anyway, go ahead.
But anyway, like, with the similarities to New Hope, I've given this particular subject, more than any other, a lot of thought. But I'll condense it down just for this video. My uncle, he saw it with me, and then a few days later he was like, hey, that was actually really similar to New Hope. I liked that fact. Like, but on the other end of the spectrum, there's some people that told, or, well, one person in particular that said, it was exactly New Hope, and I just didn't like it for that fact at all. And it's not exactly New Hope. Even if it was, I would probably enjoy it even more. Just to notice, like, okay, this was just like this moment and this moment with this moment. JJ did not do that by accident.
It was all on purpose.
It was all on purpose to
suck in the old fans.
Yeah, just get that new fan train.
With new characters, new story.
Yeah, like
and
with...
it just brings in a new audience and also keeping the old audience in. It's the original trilogy again, guys. This is the continuation of the original trilogy, like 30 years later. And for that reason, it's really good and really well done, because, you know, there are parallels like I was talking about, but literally that's exactly what JJ wanted, and so now they have an opportunity here. They could rather make it the same thing again and possibly make Episode 8 just like Empire Strikes Back, or they could actually do something brand new. And what excites me about that is Rian Johnson's coming to direct, I think, 8 and 9. I don't know if he's signed on for 9, but I know he's coming back for 8. So they already have a different director to possibly do something different. JJ's job was to bring Star Wars back, and he did. That's all. That's what I've got to say on the backlash part of this movie. Alright, well, now that cringeworthy subject is out of the way, we're now going to move on to some spoiler talk in this movie. Just kind of just go into detail, just real quick here on different things that happen in this movie and what our opinion on it is. It's so weird to be able to say this, but Han Solo dies. I'm just going to throw that out there right now. And one interesting thing about this is, I didn't believe it when I heard the rumors that he would die in this movie, but after I heard that he wanted to be killed off in Return of the Jedi, it kind of just made sense all of a sudden. Like, bring back Han Solo for one last movie, his, old self, because it's been 30 years, and Leia is also in this movie, and she's also old, obviously. They're, like, literally... It's so cool to see, like, their characters, but they're, like, their ages that they are in real life, like in the movie. That's really cool. It's really thought out. Like I didn't believe it at all when I heard that old cast was coming back. I was like, that's just not going to happen, and it did. So yeah, that's really cool.
My thoughts on Han dying. I mean, it does really make sense whenever you think, okay, he wanted to die in Return of the Jedi and all this stuff, and that. Whatever
it wouldn't have fit them.
No, it wouldn't have, because, I mean, fans liked Han too much. Now I think, that love hasn't died down at all. I love Harrison Ford just in general, and I loved that he came back for this movie. Just him old and all this, and he's just... It's awesome. And he...
like, and it added effect in the movie. It added, like, this, like, sort of... like hatred towards Kylo Ren, because he's the one that kills him, and he is his son. He confronts him because he is his son, and he knows he's his son, and he's trying to pull him back to the light, but there's just like this battle, and that's what makes, honestly, Kylo Ren's character, we'll move on to his character, like, so interesting, because he's so human. He's not like Darth Vader, where he had like his mask on the whole movie. No, he takes his mask off a couple of times in this movie, and actually for the last battle he was unmasked and just very human, very, it was really cool. Adam Driver, I mean, I knew that he wasn't, Kylo Ren wasn't going to be Luke Skywalker with that whole rumor, because I saw on the cast list Adam Driver's playing Kylo Ren, so I was like, okay, that's the guy under the mask. I already know what he looks like. It's really cool, like, to see this kind of character done. It's almost like a lot of people were like, oh, like, he's just gonna be another Vader, but Vader was very human too. He had his inner battles and all this, but they did that pretty much again, but just taking mask off and on, like, type of thing, to remind you that he's a person. And so I thought that was really well done. The chemistry, like the sort of the force battle between Kylo and Rey is really, really cool. Like, he's trying to pull information out of her, and she's like, and you actually see without words, there's like words spoken in the scene, but without words, it just shows like she's fighting back with the Force, and it's like really cool. And that's when she has an awakening, which a lot of people argue what the Force Awakens means, and it's Rey. That's what it is. She's the new Force user, and I just think all of that is just really cool. There's nothing wrong about that.
Not to copy what I said in the last video, I mean, it's still my thoughts, but like, as for Rey or Adam Driver or any of those new actors, I've never seen, like, they're all awesome, but like with a particular scene with Han and his exchange with Boyega is probably like still, the more I think on it, it's the most hilarious part of the movie. Like, it's not how the Force works.
Oh yeah, that
just little exchanges.
Like, what jumped to my head when you said that was, women always find out the truth. Like, that's another.
Yeah, that's a great exchange too. Like how the new interacts with the old, even on that level, is amazing.
Yeah, because John Boyega, I forgot Rey's what her name is, but they're amazing in this movie. Like, they brought so much more to their characters than I could ever thought. They're in this universe.
And this is both of their, I don't think it's Boyega's first role, but this was like Daisy
Daisy Ridley.
Like Daisy Ridley's first role ever, and I'm like, what?
Yeah, because she's like so freaking good. She did like she tops Natalie Portman's Padme, like just like nothing. It just goes, you know, which that's different because Padme's not the protagonist of those, but she carries this movie and with support from John Boyega perfectly. Like it just, you know, they are the main characters of this story. The trailers tried to portray this movie as like John Boyega's character Finn will be the Jedi in this movie. Man, did they throw us a curveball! Like I didn't really actually see it coming. I mean, I saw the, you know, the Force using in that one scene between Kylo and her, but I still was just like, oh, but are they both gonna be like a part of this? Maybe they're both Jedi or something. But man, just Finn got cut down. He got hurt really bad, and then the great scene where I probably just could redo all that. Okay. This movie threw us a curveball. It definitely the trailers gave away. The trailers of this movie portrayed Finn, John Boyega's character, as he's going to be the Force user, when actually it's not. It threw us a big curveball. Rey is actually the Jedi in this film, and that's the thing about this movie. Like, it still threw us surprises. And anything, those trailers were cut so beautifully where it doesn't give anything away, and then when the movie came out, I was surprised all around. I didn't expect Kylo to be Han Solo's son whatsoever. I didn't expect, I knew Snoke would be in this movie, but I didn't, like, really know what we were going into. They never showed him, you know, Andy Serkis. And by the way, real quick, guys, just real quick, before I go into anything else. Whoever thinks that Snoke looks bad in this movie, you're BSing, because I found that out, that people were saying that after my second viewing, and so when I went to my third viewing, I tried to pay attention, like, okay, is that CGI really that bad? Giant hologram Snoke, you know? No, it's really good and really well done in that shadowy, like, area, for it to not have, like, perfect lighting in the atmosphere, because it's supposed to give you that kind of Emperor feel, you know? Like, he's this dark overlord, and I got that. He looks really cool, and when you get those, like, close-ups of his face, it's really well done. Anyway, that's a rant for a whole nother video, but literally, like, Snoke, he was done really well. Andy Serkis, you could tell it's Andy Serkis on his face, which is really cool. It's like, there's so much to talk about with this movie. It would take like 2 hours, literally, the movie length, to talk about everything, because it is 2 hours long. But, just really well done from JJ's part. You know, like I said, the curveball they threw with Rey, I really love. I love her as an actress. She's probably like my favorite actress now. And just, it's just really when it comes out, there needs to be a commentary like by us.
That'd be really
fun. That'd be really fun to do, because like that'd be the only way to get all the information and all the opinions on it. And you guys probably don't even care about what we have to say, quite honestly. But we want to get our opinion out there. You know, it's Star Wars and it's back. I'm really excited because within a year and a half, we're getting Rogue One, possibly another Star Wars movie, and then Episode 8. Man, they're just packing it in. They're not trying to. They're not going to take their time anymore. They're bringing. One of the best scenes of this movie is between Rey and Kylo's fight at the end in the snow. Luke's lightsaber, the blue one, got stuck in a little patch of snow, and you see Kylo trying to move it with the Force. He's trying to get it, and it won't budge. And the handle flies past him and into Rey's hands. Yeah. I honestly thought that could have been Luke. Like, I thought that maybe Luke felt something was going on in the... It would have made sense, you know? Like, felt like there was a disturbance and he goes to the location where it's happening, but... but I like him where they have him. And that's at the very end. Yeah. Rey is in search for him because BB-8 had a piece of the map, which R2 for some reason is in this weird like sleep stage because Luke's been gone. That's a little weird. I didn't know if I cared for that, but R2 has the full map of where he's at And it kind of makes sense because you see like the robot hand on R2 that like he probably sent him off or whatever with his location, and BB-8 just happens to have the rest of the map where Luke is. So Rey goes to find Luke, and at the very end you get Luke's reveal, which is just really well done. Mark Hamill looks great as Luke again. I mean, obviously he's not what he used to look like, but that's the point. He's old Luke. And I remember like on the set he was talking about like he lost weight and stuff for this and all that. So he looks good. So I like where they have him. And I like that he doesn't say anything because it really makes you hungry for Episode 8. And even more so because I keep wanting to watch this movie just to keep re-experiencing it. It makes you hungry for Star Wars. And that's not just coming from a fan. That's just, it's just a really well done movie.
One thing I have to say about Luke's appearance at the end, which is beautifully done. It really is, is a perfect lead-in for what's going to happen now. Like, is Luke going to be the new Yoda if they go the Episode 5 route? I mean, that'd be cool. But one thing that my uncle pointed out, and he's really good at observing these types of things for movies, is that Luke does not have one hint of happiness on his face that she's there. Like, it looks more like he's like, oh no, like this is going to lead into something that I'm gonna regret because of Luke's side of the story with Kylo betraying him and all this stuff, and it would be rough to just go right back into Force training, like, so maybe there's something.
It's a look of oh no, but at the same time I feel like that if the theory of her being his daughter, I think that he feels that, and it's just like whatever.
Exactly.
But that's the mystery of this, is nobody knows. They didn't clear up who Rey is related to, and because everyone seems to be just related to everybody in some way or in whatever. Because I mean, even Finn used to work for Kylo, so there's like a connection. But also, he hasn't probably seen a person in like so long.
Yeah,
so
that too. I mean,
and so my theory. Well, I'll do that again. He also hasn't seen a person in a long time. And that could be like that. Just that look could mean so many things. That's the mystery. It's like it just could mean so many things. Also, it's his lightsaber being returned to him, like his original one, which I guess he still holds his green one. But it's like I have it and I don't. He hasn't seen a person in a really long time, which, could factor into that expression that he had. But also, one thing I find is interesting is I don't think it's just convenient that he was at the top of the hill and he just so happened to be over there watching. I think he felt something in the Force. He knew someone was coming and was going to find him. And if Rey is his daughter, that puts even more like, I feel that my daughter is coming to me, with my lightsaber that I had, which was Anakin's before his. It's like this big freaking awesome legacy that I really hope. I hope that's the theory. I hope Rey's his daughter. I hope if that's how they do it. Or relation to Obi-Wan would still be cool because then Luke still has that connection with Obi-Wan. That would be cool. But I think I would just prefer like Luke to just, whatever. But and that means, if she's trained by Luke, that's some power. Like she's already so powerful in the Force already. She pretty much cut down Kylo, building up a lot of Force power. So it could go either way. I think that the writers themselves are trying to figure out what the fans want, and they themselves don't even really know what the relation is. They wanted to leave those open windows and try to make the best movie possible without looking too further into it. I think that's how it is, or they could just simply have it all written out and they know what they're doing.
If what you're saying is true, I mean, whatever they choose to do with it, like, even if, like, she's trained by Luke and she already has that power, she could be the most powerful Jedi of all time, and that would be really cool if that's what the whole series is building up to be. Just Rey is the most powerful Jedi of all time, which reinforces Star Wars itself. It's really the battle between good and evil. Yeah, and you always have a chosen one. You always have to have a chosen one. And it's perfectly set up. I mean,
Yeah.
New Hope or not.
Yeah, because I mean, if she is the Force Awakens, she is the Force being awakened again, then that obviously is going to lead to something big. She's going to be that one Jedi that can bring balance to the Force again. I mean, you know, you still got this Overlord Snoke, you know, out there is causing problems. You know, Kylo isn't fully trained yet, which also can be an argument with why he got cut down so easily. Which he himself wanted to, you know, was trying to manipulate her into letting him train her. And it's like, what are you doing, dude? You're still young and you don't know what you're doing yourself. So, and that's the thing about the dark side. Like, you find out in Star Wars, it always ends up being weaker than the light side. Every time. And that's something so beautifully done, like, poetically, really, is just a big, like, you know, this battle is always meant for the good to win, but there's always going to be pain brought to these characters. I have a feeling, you know, Finn could get killed in one of these, and that's going to be, like, a big, oh man, you know, like, it's going to hurt everybody. And it's just stuff like that, you know, it's all going to build up to something, and I'm just super excited for episode 8. And I'm also excited to just continuously watch this movie again and again, you know, if I have the opportunity, and I'm definitely pre-ordering it on Blu-ray. That's a definite thing. Walmart's already got their advertisements out, so I'm probably going to put in my pre-order.
Thanks so much for watching, guys. Check me and Trav out on our respective channels. We're both going to be coming out with content real soon. And I'll leave it at that.